There is a great article on Truthout by CJ Polychroniou about how Donald Trump is stuffing his cabinet with oligarchs who are poised to govern for their own profit. This is one of the most important and notable characteristics of Donald Trump's incoming cabinet. If you thought Donald Trump's first term was a billionaire frat party, Trump 2.0 is really looking like it's going to be a full-blown oligarchic takeover. Crony capitalist half measures, put them in the rearview mirror. We are looking at a billionaire governance cabinet on steroids, and it's pretty wild. Remember Trump's first cabinet? Rex Tillerson, Stephen Mnuchin, Wilbur Ross, right? I mean, there were certainly wealthy oligarchic types, but it turns out that that was really nothing compared to what we are now looking at. Of course, we have Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, multi-billionaire, close to a billionaire, leading as unelected bureaucrats the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. We have that. This is the kind of shadow operation. They don't answer to Congress. It's designed to gut regulations and maybe slash Social Security and Medicare in order to enrich themselves, hamstringing agencies like the IRS. It's all under the banner of efficiency. Fine, we know that, but there's more. DOGE is not an official agency. It's basically Elon Musk and his ultra-wealthy friends freelancing for Donald Trump. If you're wondering why Elon Musk got a seat at the table, he ponied up around $250 million for Trump's reelection campaign. Vivek, another doormat suck-up donor. These are not public servants. These are billionaire servants or profit maximizers, but public servants is not the right term. Musk has spent years fighting regulatory bodies like the SEC and the National Labor Relations Board, and now he is positioned to actually tear them down for his benefit. This has to be understood under the umbrella of Project 2025. That's, of course, the conservative blueprint to shrink government to the size of Trump's hands. Think of Reagan's Grace Commission with more billionaires and fewer safety checks. And the goal of all of this stuff is privatize public services for their financial gain, strip federal workers of protections, funnel what's left to private companies, their companies if they can do it. And remember that in Donald Trump's first term, we saw the corporate tax cuts, we saw the rolling back of environmental protections, we saw the blocking of ESG investments, and now they want to kick it up a notch. It's an unfettered, uninhibited, instantly lame duck Trump, and they are talking about trillions in budget cuts, numbers so huge that you can't do it without wrecking programs that millions of people are relying on. Now, if we zoom out a little bit, it is true that American politics has always had a sort of soft spot for the wealthy. The founding fathers owned land and enslaved people. And for a while it was, hey, it's the landowners who get to vote and to decide, right? I mean, it's sort of like on the one hand, we talk about the egalitarian goals of the founding of the country. And also we have to remember the sort of robber baron, gilded age, only white landowning men can vote sort of stuff. Now, Trump's twist on the whole thing is that he's not even pretending to hide it. He's bragging. Who is he turning the country over to? Billionaires. DOGE, his cabinet members. It is not a representative government. It's a fully, clearly, publicly displayed oligarchy. Now, the reason, if it's not obvious that we all should care, is that when the billionaires are in charge, the policies will favor the billionaires. It's not a conspiracy. It's common sense. Worker protections are not hugely interesting to billionaires. Environmental protections are not hugely interesting to billionaires. Social safety nets, gutted. The bottom line is, if you're not part of this club, you're going to be footing the bill for their benefit. As we've said before, you've got to follow the money. Trump's whole drain the swamp mantra was always a ruse for consolidating power for the super rich, for his buddies, for his cronies. If you're not on the guest list, then too bad. You're going to do cleanup duty after paying for the entire thing. So we are preparing for what 2 weeks from today will be the second Trump administration. Trump continues to talk about making America great again. But if this cabinet of oligarchs gets its way, greatness is going to be reserved for the billionaires, for those who have been able to pony up the money for Trump. And many of us are going to be left behind. So we've got to keep our eyes open. But importantly, and this is what I'm going to talk about after the break and what I'm going to talk about with Cenk Uygur soon, we have to remember that even if some of these MAGAs espouse populist-sounding rhetoric, I know that a lot of what Tucker says sounds similar to what Bernie says, but the way they would deal with it couldn't be more different. I worry Cenk is falling for it. I worry some others have fallen for it. So we're going to talk about that after the break, and we're going to talk about it on Wednesday with Cenk Uygur. I am willing to work with anybody who has the right solutions in mind. But just because someone espouses populist-sounding rhetoric does not mean that they have the right solutions in mind. Let's take a very quick break, and we'll be back right after this. Well, I wrote a book after a long journey and a ton of work. I am really thrilled with how it turned out, and I hope you'll read it. The book is called The Echo Machine, and in a nutshell, it looks at how American politics got so broken, who has already figured out solutions, and how we can try to fix it and stop the terror of Trump for the next 4 years. With Trump winning this election, The Echo Machine couldn't be more relevant, not only a warning about how we got here, but also about what might be coming and how to prevent the worst outcomes. We've got to stay engaged. We need a plan, and that's what the book is about. There's a belief out there that unless you have corporate media behind you, you can't have a successful political book launch, that it's not possible. I think we can prove that wrong. Order The Echo Machine today at davidpakman.com/echo on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Audible, Kindle, anywhere that books, ebooks, and audiobooks are sold. You can also call any local bookstore and say, please order me The Echo Machine by David Pakman. Wherever you get the book, you'll get the free pre-order perks, including the signed book plate. Head to davidpakman.com/free book stuff after ordering.